Hello and welcome everybody. It's me, Tatiana Noel, aka E Dirty, your host. Welcome to GT Champions World Cup. This is round 9. We're almost done, y'all. Just second to last round. We're at high speed ring in the GT4, not Hyundai, Genesis, Genesis G70 GT4 race car. World GT World Champions is brought to you by Digit Gaming, Detailing Group, Metropolis, Pride of the Dragon, Hypre, and RWB. Speaking of Digit Gaming, they are celebrating their 20,000th subscriber. They're putting on an event during the month of November. We're looking at their website right now. You can see all the details, our website at gtchampions.com. gtchampions.com/digi-20k. That's 20k. Again, you can check that out right on our website. I'm trying to scroll through this page, but it's not letting me. So my apologies for you not being able to actually see the rest of the details here. I do have some details somewhere else. I'll share them later on in the stream, though, since that's not working here. Why don't we see what we've got going on, though? We are at High Speed Ring, like I said, and this is a nice track. This is one of the original Gran Turismo tracks created just for this game. It does not exist in real life, but it's a lot of fun. It's a kind of a fast lap. It's a short lap. A very, very quick track indeed. You can see, actually you can't see, but I can see some of the long baking corners as I look at the folks who are in the lobby right now. We're going to join them in a second, but first, I do have some info to share about last week. So let's talk about last week's podium. We had a winner. The Truth won, followed by HPR in second and Rusty Maggots in third. It was such a good race at Watkins Glen last weekend. If you missed it, go check it out on our YouTube channel. Obviously, it was streamed last week, so you should be able to find it pretty easily. That was a fantastic race. Go check it out. I think D3 also had a great race from what I understand. But you definitely want to go back and not miss any rounds if you're not sure what's going on in the championship. The full results from last week are as follows. Of course, the Truth, HPR, and Rusty Maggots on our podium. Then Turbo in fourth, TCU Frogs in fifth, who also took the fastest lap. RWB Venom, Wooly in seventh, Little Mac in eighth, and Knudsen came in ninth place. So kind of a small grid last week, but still a great race. The standings have changed a little bit since that race. In fact, a whole lot of drivers moving up in the order in the standings, with 5 moving down. Tattooed Freak especially fell down 4 spots down into 12th place, where he was in the top 10 just last week. If I'm not mistaken, he missed last week's race. So did Buck Wild, who drops down 3 spots. Big gainers. Venom is the biggest gainer, going up 3 spots into 9th place in the championship. So Venom doing great here. We are almost done. Watkins Glen was last week. High Speed Ring is this week. Next week will be at Fuji Speedway. And at Fuji, of course, you've got all sorts of things that can happen. You've got this super long straight, but you've got tricky corners. You've got walls to hit. There can be damage there, so that'll be an interesting race. High Speed Ring as well, of course. We've got some pretty close walls here. Why don't we take a look and see what our grid looks like at the ring, though? Let's see. In pole position, we've got Tommy Moon, followed by Buck Wild, and then Wooly, HPR, Little Mac, Venom, Rusty Maggots, The Truth, Tattooed Freak, Frogs, Roses, Turbo, and Knudsen. Actually, this is my round 8 starting grid. I was like, this doesn't seem right at all, and it's not. Let's fix that. Let's do better. Knudsen is actually in pole this week. Little Mac in second, Wooly in third, Venom in fourth, TCU Frogs in fifth, Turbo in 6th, followed by Rusty Maggots, then HPR 82. Down at the bottom, we've got the Truth Serum, Tattooed Freak, Buck Wild, Tommy Moon, and Roses. So the grid order is set in reverse from how you finished the last race, which is why I realized that grid order wasn't making sense. HPR, of course, got 3rd place last week, so he's starting towards the bottom. We also have a few people, those who missed last week's race and or quit last week's race, are starting in the back, and that's why you have Tattooed, Buckwild, Tommy Moon, and Roses back behind the Truth, even though technically the Truth should be in last place here. Let's see, we got folks coming on track. We're getting pretty close to needing to start the race here. Why don't I play this track guide we've got so you guys can see what it's like to take a lap around the high-speed ring. These videos are brought to us by Black Flag Racing TV, by the way, so thank you to all of them. You see that back straight on the high-speed ring is a long one, 0.66 miles. Here, you see the driver heading into turn 1. Turn 1 is that long banked corner that you see in the top left-hand corner of the map. This is it here. It is flat out, full throttle, no need to lift. Just make sure you got the line right. Honestly, it's very forgiving. Even if you don't have the line right, you're okay. Turn 2 is a bit tighter. You do want to at least lift, probably brake a little. I actually apex it. I apex it late, but it looks like our test driver here is not feeling like apexing anything. Then we go over the bridge into turn 3, brake here. This is a long sweeping corner. This track is basically characterized by long sweeping corners, and here we are back in the opposite direction with a left-hand sweeper, and then we're going into the tunnel, and that marks that you are almost done with this very fast lap here. Just a slight bend. This is full throttle into the last corner. The last corner is also flat out. You take that flat out. I also apex it. We're kind of apexing it here. Yep, a little late apex there. So then you're back onto the straight. Don't forget, don't lift for that last corner, or else you're going to be slow in that straight, and of course slow into turn 1, which is also full throttle. And that is a lap around high speed ring. Thank you very much again to Black Flag Racing for doing that for us. I love these little lap guides. They're pretty awesome. Let's see, we already looked at our grid. Like I said, we looked at the right one. We've got our lap guide. I think we're ready to go on track and see what people got going on here. So why don't we join the boys, the folks. Let's turn on a controller so that we can actually get out there and see what's going on. Get you some sound too. I'm guessing that you want to hear the cars. Here's HPR, last week's winner. He is in a heated battle with Roses for the top spot in the championship. Roses not finishing the race and HPR coming in 3rd meant that he gets 1 point above Roses in the championship running here. He is starting a position ahead of Roses and so has the advantage here, but anything can happen, and we have seen anything happen in our races here at GT Champions in D2. So obviously we can't trust that that's where HPR is going to finish up at the end of the season. This is super exciting because, I mean, there are only 2 races left, and there's really nothing either one of them can do to cinch the championship here, from what I understand, and so to clinch it rather. And so these 2 are going to be on their P's and Q's. They're going to be trying their absolute best to get up to the front of the grid and make it through. Venom says 5 minutes till start, so we're starting just 5 minutes after we normally would, which is not a problem here at all. It's we may be waiting on another driver. Sometimes that happens, which is fine. I'm going to grab that information that I promised you all, the info on Digit Gaming's 20,000 subscriber event here. I'm going to pull that up for you guys and let you see exactly what they've got going on, because it's looking like a pretty awesome setup so far. Just looking at what I could see of the rules and the way they're going to be regulating this. Now, I just downloaded this, but I can't find where it downloaded to. Why that would be, I don't know. Okay. There we go. Digit Gaming Edge. 20,000 subscriber event. They've hit 20,000 subscribers on their YouTube is what I should explain here. So, We have 4 races. They'll be on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. British Standard Time during the month of November. 10 minutes of qualifying. The 4 rounds are Monza, no chicanes, Spa, Daytona Infield, and La Sarthe. So all very fast, long tracks. Pre-qualifiers will close on November 10th. Pre-qualifiers, from what I understand, are a solo lap. The races will be streamed live on Twitch and YouTube, right here on GT Champions YouTube and our Twitch channel. So you already know where to go to check all of this out. And what's it say? To register for FLOG, right? Go to our website, gtchampions.com/digit-20k. That's 20k to check out all the rules and register for the event. Good luck to anyone who's racing. I hope I get to commentate. That'd be pretty awesome. I would love to. What do we got here? Wooly going through. Nice Amigos Racing Team livery. I have got an audio thing to take care of, so I'll be right back, and I'm gonna go take care of that. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. Let's see if somebody else is on track, since we're just sitting in the pits. Actually, check out, love the liveries, at least from what we can see in the back. The Genesis G70 is a very good looking car as well. The total Genesis lineup is pretty awesome. Ooh, love this situation here. Buck Wild repping Pride of the Dragon pretty well on that back bumper. Love it. Pride of the Dragon is my event. It is an event for queer car enthusiasts and their allies. We go up to North Carolina and hit the Tail of the Dragon, which is one of the most famous roads in Atlanta, and we stay there for about half a week, just enjoying a good time. Check it out, prideofthedragon.com. Registration is open right now, so if you're not registered, you are missing out. You are. Anyway, no one's on track, which, okay, I guess maybe that's on purpose. We did say we're starting in 5 minutes. We are 1 minute from that point. So I expect any moment now that we'll be hearing it's time to start. Testing, testing. Do I have comms now? People on the stream are saying they're unable to hear me, or outside of the stream rather, saying they're unable to hear me, which I don't really get. My mics have been hot from what I can see. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in though. Tell me if that works. Okay, so that did work. Alright, well, sorry about that. I guess I can go over what everyone has missed. You missed a very dramatic opening 2 laps. Going back is a lot. And looks like we've got Frogs and Bite the Roses, our leaders, have finally lapped Wooly. Wooly being one of the biggest victims of that opening lap drama. Wooly was leading this race. He started on pole, as we are missing Knudsen and Little Mac, who should be in first and second respectively, so that gave Wooly pole position. And then sometime on lap 2 he got tank slapped into the wall at turn 1, either by Rusty Maggots or the Truth. I wasn't sure which one. Both Rusty and the Truth ended up with damage on their cars, and the Truth in fact had a penalty, a 1.5 second penalty. Wooly also took a 1.5 second penalty, had damage on front and back of that car. Front wheel plus rear wheels had to pit. There was no choice about it. The Truth and Rusty also pitted, but they pitted a little bit later and had much less damage to fix, and so came out ahead of Wooly, on top of just not having the slowdown of being slammed into the wall nose first. Venom also ate a big penalty, 1.5 seconds, and big damage, the same damage as Wooly in the lap 2 or 3. We did not get to see what happened to Venom. We only saw the aftermath when he was still sideways on the track. But all of that, plus a couple of other long penalties, 1.5 seconds here, 1.5 seconds there, have led to the order being shuffled by a lot. You can see right here that Roses, who is sitting in second place right now, started way in the back, 13th place, with everyone who's missing, I believe, actually started in 10th. Either way, he started dead last, and has still made his way up to fighting for second place. In fact, he was in second place by lap 6 because of all the drama and damage there. Frogs, who did start in third, again, we're missing Knudsen and Little Mac, made his way up to first quickly, getting pretty lucky through all of that as well. So just a whole lot going on very early on in the race, but right now nothing really doing. These two have been lapping and slipstreaming together for a long time. HPR was with them, but ended up having some issue. He did eat a 1.5 second penalty. There was no damage on the car, but he was so far away that he no longer had the slip and has switched into pure fuel saving mode. As we know, HPR is very good at saving fuel, and has decided that that's the way to go as we approach the pit window here. HPR and Roses are very close to one another in the championship. The standings are, you can see the standings right here actually. HPR leads Roses by only 1 point. Because Roses did not finish last week's race, he didn't pick up enough points to maintain his lead. HPR got a big jump, and that put him one point ahead, but that's not really enough, as each position on grid is worth 2 points more than the last position. So if HPR finishes behind Roses, even just one position behind him, he will be 1 point behind. Those orders will flip. But then we'll have one last race to work it out. Rusty into the pits with a lot of damage and a lot of penalty. 3 seconds of penalty, front and rear splitter damage. I don't know what happened. He was running with his teammate, the Truth Serum. The Truth seems to be okay, so nothing happened to him. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see what happened to Rusty, but he's out of contention for 5th place, which pretty sad. We're very close to the pit window. We're 33.5 minutes into the race. Pit window opens at minute 40. At the 40-minute mark, drivers can come in, pit for fuel and tires. If they pit outside of that 10-minute window there, they can only fix damage. If you take fuel or tires outside of the pit window, you will eat a 1-minute penalty, which is pretty bad, pretty long penalty. A lap around here is about a minute 15 right now. We've actually got a pretty good mix of tires on the track for this opening stint, which I like. Well, okay, it's not as great as I thought. Never mind. But usually we have like one person on softs. We have 2 people on softs. It's not who you think, I promise. But it's just good to see that different choices were made. All right, what do y'all want to know? We missed a lot. I didn't have comms for a long time. You guys could not hear me. So I guess what I want to know is, what would you like to find out about this race? What have I missed? Was there anything that showed up on camera that you would like explained? Let me know. We are 36 minutes in, so why don't we go ahead and get rid of the bottom banner. We can take a look at everyone's fuel and tire situation. Bite the roses with a long wall right there. I've mentioned, but no one can hear, but I do wonder what the stewarding decision will be on that. I don't know if any discussion has happened around it in Discord. If there has been, I missed it. But I can't imagine that wall riding corners is within the spirit of the rules. So it'll be interesting to see what happens during the week. If there's no action taken, then I'll be pretty surprised. But I've seen lots of drivers do it. It seems to be the preferred line through turn 2 at least, and it's interesting. But you saw, so actually let's go back. We were talking about frogs, we're talking about tires and fuel. Both frogs and Roses were on the racing medium. Frogs sitting on a quarter tank of fuel. Roses with slightly less fuel despite being behind Frogs with a slipstream at least since lap 6. We're on lap 30, so that's 24 laps of being back there and saving fuel, and still using more fuel than the car ahead. However, has he used more fuel than the person he's really trying to run away with, which is HPR. HPR sits 8.3 seconds back. HPR is actually on the soft tires, and he's got a quarter tank of fuel as well. He has not had a slipstream, so he's just barely hanging on. I don't see things going too well for him. Ooh, that looks like a wall hit. Not what he wants. In fact, yes, losing time to Roses ahead very quickly, so that definitely was too hard to hit on the wall for HPR. You see those soft tires pretty worn out there, so I'm guessing he had the notion to run away at the start of the race, and unfortunately ended up with a penalty and having some drama at the very start of the race. And it looks like that strategy might not be working for him. He's not been able to save enough fuel to make a significant jump in the pits, and he's going to be going on the slower tire in comparison to Rose's. So I don't see HPR making a big jump either in the pits or in the second stint on Rose's, and that's just too bad. Just a weird opening to the race here. Turbo has been sitting very quietly in 4th place on racing softs as well. Those tires look pretty decent, actually, definitely in comparison to HPR, who has been having trouble keeping those front tires up under him. However, Turbo is a bit slower in pace and is 9.7 seconds behind him, so maybe just not using the tires to the full potential that HPR is using them to. HPR right up on Wooly. This is not a pass position. This is a blue flag pass. Wooly's in 9th place right now, so HPR easily passed him. Now Turbo sits on a quarter tank of gas on the racing softs. He is also going on the slower tire, but has a decent amount of fuel in that car, and lots of time behind him. The next car back is the Truth Serum, who's 14 plus seconds back. Now the Truth does come out of the pits on the racing softs though, so he's going to switch to the softs and have the quicker tire and should be able to catch up to Turbo so long as there are no other issues and that gap doesn't get too big, which I can't imagine it will. Pit window opens right now. We just hit the 40-minute mark, as you can see on the clock on the bottom left, and that means that people can start going in whenever they're ready to, up until the 50-minute mark, where they need to be out of the pits, not still in the pits. They need to be out across the pit out line. Buck Wild on the racing mediums has probably the least fuel that I've seen so far, less than a quarter tank, less than an 1/8 tank actually. He's going to hit red first and probably end up hitting first on those racing mediums. Buck Wild also having a bad race start this evening, so he's going to be looking for something here. Venom looking pretty bad on fuel too. He's another victim of that early race drama. I don't know if he was tapped. He was behind the drama, but that means that, you know, obviously he could have had an issue driving through it, or could have been hit. We did not see what happened to Venom. It happened after it happened to Wooly and Rusty and the Truth. Rusty, who we just saw in the pits a couple of laps ago, just a few minutes ago, not a couple laps, but a few minutes ago. Lap 26, 25 and 26 actually looks like were his pit in and pit out laps. He had to fix damage, and he's running alone. All of these cars are so far apart, by the way. Venom is 7 seconds behind Buck Wild. Rusty's another 14.5 behind Venom, and then 16 seconds behind Rusty is Wooly. Those cars that you see behind Rusty are not Wooly. Those are our leaders, Frogs and Bite the Roses. So, everyone pretty much racing alone at this point except Frogs and Roses. The Truth is into the pits, gonna try to put on those softs as early as possible. Don't blame him. Just get off the mediums and try to get on the faster tire and hope that it lasts to the end of the race here. Clean air is gonna be the name of the game. You don't want to have to battle anyone in this second stint. You want to be as gentle with those tires as possible and just try to inch by inch catch the folks up front if possible. Rusty's 1 minute and 10 seconds behind our leaders. Wooly 1 minute and 26 seconds. Now that is longer than a lap, so he has been lapped. Rusty is also in, so Rusty and the Truth on the same pit strategy. Not surprising, they're teammates. The Truth out on those softs, and Rusty will be coming out right behind him. Maybe not right behind him. He just got in, so got a little while. Yep, we're putting fuel into the car now. You can see some damage, some paint chips and scrapes coming off of that Genesis. Now these two are leaders. They don't have to pit just yet. You can see their fuel situation. I wonder if Roses will jump in when Frogs jumps in, or if he'll try to maybe leapfrog him on his in-lap. Won't be that easy. He's got a bit less fuel than Frogs, so Frogs is going to have a quicker pit stop. So Roses is going to have to try to make that time up in a lap if he does go for the overtake. He might even try an undertake. He might jump in now before Frogs, even if whether Frogs jumps in or not. So We're coming into the final corner now. Let's see what both of them do. Oh, we actually passed the pit entrance already. So, no, we didn't. It's right there. Ha! I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I've been here before. Either way, neither one of them pits. They're gonna go around another time. Roses right up on Frogs. Literally on his bumper. But not looking to pass. Has not pushed Frogs in any way ever since catching up to him in lap 6. He's just chilled. Just been back there enjoying the free toe and enjoying the fact that he's so far away from his closest contender in the championship. 9.8 seconds now is that gap. I think HPR slowed down even more. It could be as a result of those tires. Or fuel. Ooh, taps the wall there again. He's going to lose another big chunk of time. We saw him do that a few laps ago, and he does it one more time. He's just going wide in these corners. He's trying to hold on to those soft tires. I wonder if he decides to pit here. I don't think the advantage is in those softs anymore. It's likely causing some mistakes for him. Venom and Buck Wild are in. Venom with 0% fuel in that car. I hope he didn't run out. Buck Wild in as well with just 1%. So both of them running it to the ragged edge. What's HPR gonna do? He's in the last corner. Is he gonna dive in here? No, he's staying out. He is staying outside. The Truth follows him through, though the Truth has already pitted and is on racing softs, fresh racing softs compared to HPR's not so fresh ones. Though HPR will have the lighter car. He's got less fuel in his rig because he needs to refuel. The Truth has refueled for the rest of the race, so his car will be a little bit heavier. See the Truth taking the low line down through turn 1 there. HPR trying to maintain momentum as much as he can. Oh, there's that wall tap again, but it's not a tap. It just ends up being a slam, and the Truth gets right up on his bumper here, and this would not be a pass for position. This would be the Truth unlapping himself, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound right? That does not sound right at all. Where is Turbo? Behind these two. So I'm showing the Truth as 5th place. But Turbo's in 4th and on the track behind the Truth. So I'm very confusion right now. Is it me? Am I just being slow about this? Both on lap 36. Here's the Truth at the end of the front straight. Here's Turbo at the start of the front straight. He's in 4th. Says the Truth is in 5th. And now the timing's all messed up between them. Now I have no gap between them. I was just trying to see what the game thinks the gap is. That's weird. That is very weird. Alright. Our leaders still haven't gone in. Neither has Turbo. So Bite the Roses. Frogs still out here. We are staring at the back of Rose's car right now. If you couldn't tell, it says Apex Roses 347 right there on that back bumper, right underneath our Metropolis sticker. Metropolis being one of our sponsors. Thanks Metro. Now they've got to dip in here. I mean, they're out of fuel, both of them. At least Roses is. Frogs has a little more, but not enough to go another lap. Yep, Roses with 1%, Frogs with 3% fuel, and here comes HPR. He's going to dive in as well, and he's going to have just a little more than them, 4%, so not enough to make any big gains in the pit stops, though HPR is known for being able to short fuel. Fuel short, whatever. He's known for being able to take less fuel than anyone to make a big jump. In fact, he did it last race because he knows he can save so much. So let's see what that gap is when he comes out behind Roses and Frogs. Let's see how much fuel he puts in the car in comparison to those two. Roses will probably be jumping out first. Roses or Frogs. Frogs out. Okay, Frogs jumps out first. Roses not too far behind. But Frogs with a very big lead there, 2.5 seconds for Frogs. I didn't see how much fuel he put in the car though. It looks like Roses went 100% and Frogs didn't, so that explains that. HPR also doesn't go 100%, and he takes 2 seconds out of Roses as well, more than 2. So now he's 5.5 seconds away, but again, he's on racing mediums. Roses is on the softs, so all Roses has to do is run away, though he's got to be conscious of saving those tires as well. We saw how badly they were working for HPR at the end of his stint, and if the same thing happens for Roses, it could work into HPR's favor. However, for now, that gap will likely be increasing. Frogs, again, with a huge jump on Roses. We did see that he saved 2% more fuel without the slipstream than Roses did. So I guess he gambled and went for the short fuel to see if he could eke out some more, some room for himself. And he does. He does. Rose is no longer in his slip. And so, for now, not a threat. HPR, again, closer, but gonna get further. Those tires are not gonna keep up with the racing softs, and as you see already, he's losing time in big tenths to Roses here. In fact, so big that I wonder if did he make a mistake? I don't think he did, but Wooly comes up on him very quickly. Wooly being lapped by HPR, of course. Wooly sitting in 9th place. Turbo still sits in 4th, just nothing to say. Chilling, no drama, no one around him. The Truth is 6 seconds behind him. Buck Wild 23 seconds behind that, and you've got Venom 7.3 seconds behind Buck Wild, and Rusty 5.6 seconds behind Venom. A whopping 22.5 seconds back from that is ART Wooly. So the race pretty separated. Even our front runners, Frogs and Roses, who earlier were running together, there's a gap between them now, though I suspect it might close up. Frogs might realize he needs to save a bit of fuel towards the end of the stint, or he might try to save it towards the middle maybe, because he did take less fuel than anyone, but he probably knows he'll be okay. At this point, these drivers are veterans at the fuel strategy. They're pretty good at knowing what they can do, what their car can do. They practice all week long. HPR, 14.5 seconds back from Roses already. Is he in the pause menu? Yeah, this is the CPU driving for him. Maybe. Not sure. He's got the emergency lights on. Yeah, that lift indicates it's probably the CPU, because that is a full throttle corner. There is no lift there. Only the CPU brakes super hard and extra for stuff. Yeah, not apexing very well. So HPR in the pause menu and losing a ton of time to Roses. At this point, I don't think it's possible for him to regain this position short of Roses having an issue. But yeah, HPR having to go AFK for a second there. I think he's back. I don't see the emergency flashers anymore. But he lost a huge chunk of time, at least 14 seconds there. Turn 2 wall ride. Buck Wild and Venom are back close together after those pit stops. In fact, I can put the banner back on now. Looks like everyone is out of the pits, and the pit window's closed anyway, so yeah, let's get back to hiding the things. But these two are brought back together by fate with about the same amount of fuel in their cars, the same tires. So looks like Venom trying to make a move here on Buck Wild. They're definitely side by side through these corners. Buck Wild wide in the last turn there, and that puts Venom into the wall with a 2.5 penalty. It also serves Buck Wild a 2.5 penalty as well, so they're just both going to be together in that. They were 30 seconds away from the car ahead, so It's not like this really ruins a chance for them, but Rusty is not far away. He's only 3.5 seconds behind them, and serving this penalty is going to hurt them a lot. Rusty's going to get a whole lot closer once they serve that 2.5 penalty at the end of this lap. So Buck Wild just taking a bad line through there, loses control a little bit, runs into the side of Venom. Venom just being the innocent victim there. Gets slammed into the wall and has to take the same penalty that Buck Wild did. They're about to serve that penalty now. I believe that is served in the tunnel. So literally right now as they come out of turn 4, they'll be forced to slow down. Yep, I see the markers for the deceleration zone. There you are. And what does that do for Rusty, who's right behind him? That brings Rusty right there, and he's going to sail right past Buck Wild, Venom as well. So Rusty gains 2 positions from that unfortunate situation there for both Venom and Buck Wild. So man, they're gonna be kicking themselves for sure. You want to be more careful in these races. If there's anything we've learned in the last 4 seasons of racing, it is that mistakes are incredibly costly in this series. With damage being on and with the level of competition in the room, if you mess up, you've lost for the most part. Some people can bring it back, some people, but not from anything super catastrophic. So the name of the game is keeping it tight, keeping it right, be conservative rather than aggressive. You know, you should not be hot lapping, right? You wanna bring the car home. You want to limit your mistakes, of course. So, that lesson's been learned a ton of times this season for sure. Certainly in seasons past, but this season has been tough, especially at the start when we were having some issues with the damage model in the game. The damage model was incredibly sensitive. We've seen people wall riding, you know, this wall ride right here a couple of months ago would have been, you know, right side damage. Right wheel, possibly even front splitter, just from the brush with the wall. So I'm glad to see that the game has fixed that. Waiting on some other fixes, but that one right there was a big one. I'm realizing the truth isn't too far from Turbo. 1.9 seconds. I don't remember it being that close. Oh, right. Turbo is on the mediums. Yes, so Turbo would have switched from softs to mediums, and so this was only a matter of time. We've talked about this. I knew that. My bad. HPR is 3.5 seconds ahead of Turbo, so once the truth catches Turbo up, it's only a matter of time before he gets HPR. She's not that far behind. HPR is running the last few laps since they pitted out. They did a 15.7 as an out lap, then a 1:15.6. This last lap was a 1:15.9. The truth, since pitting, which was way earlier, so we don't even see his pit out and in, he's been running 1:15s and dipping into the 1:14s occasionally. This last lap was a 14.8. So the truth running quicker than both Turbo and HPR, so it's only a matter of time before he catches him up. Looking at the gap between Frogs and Bite, it's a little bit bigger, actually, so Rose is slowing down behind Frogs. Maybe Frogs finding pace, who knows. Rusty still owns the fastest lap with a 14.3, which he ran in the first stint, I believe, so I'm waiting on that to get beat by some of the drivers on soft tires. Look at Rusty still leading these two. Buck Wild, an interesting line behind Venom there. Maybe not compensating for the dirty air so much. It shouldn't really affect these cars that much. But carrying extra speed, of course, will... oh my goodness. So Buck Wild with a touch on Venom and almost spins Venom out. I don't know what's going on there. I wonder if he can't see Venom or something, because it's almost like he just doesn't know he's there. Venom very lucky not to get spun out there. Definitely scrubs a little extra skin off those tires than he wanted to, and loses not only the position but a whole lot of time. He's now 3 seconds behind Buck Wild and Rusty. That happened at the worst possible place. It happened as they were entering the front straight, which is the fastest part of the track. So of course Rusty and Buck Wild going pretty quickly, and Venom was, well, sideways, so not fast at all. So he's got some catching up to do. But what is going on with Buck Wild? That was crazy. And it's the second time in that corner that they've come together. Buck Wild just not paying attention to the outside and going out wide and pushing Venom out wide. That's what caused Rusty to get the position in the first place, as you saw. That they both took a 1.5 second penalty, and now he pushes Venom into the wall again. Almost pit maneuvers him. Looking up front, nothing really changing. HPR 24 seconds behind Roses. At this point, HPR is just gonna have to be content with taking 3rd place and hoping that Roses doesn't jump Frogs, because then he'll only fall 1 point to Roses in the championship and have another chance at Fuji to fight back, and even be ahead of Roses on the grid at Fuji, which is an advantageous position, of course. The truth is now with Turbo. He's going to decide to make the pass eventually, I'm sure, as I'm sure he wants to get up to HPR and take 3rd place, pick up another podium position. The truth, another driver who's been doing really well this season, got his first win last week. So we were happy to see that for him, and he's been doing pretty well. Where's he sitting in the standings? 3rd in the standings, so he's not even that far behind HPR and Roses. Now Roses is a little out of reach, but he would love to finish up ahead of HPR for sure. He has got 89 points in the championship. That puts him 7 points behind Roses and 8 points behind HPR. Now, short of Roses and HPR having something totally catastrophic happen, he's not going to catch them in this race and beat them up. Not literally beat them up, but beat their score, beat their points. But it would put him in a good place coming into this final race. And it would be awesome to have a true 3-way battle for the championship in that race. But a lot would have to happen. For now, the truth is going to have to try to get up in the 3rd place. And he actually falls back from Turbo a little bit. So I wonder if he had an issue. No damage on the car, of course, but I didn't see anything on tours. Maybe just had a slight break. Well, Buck Wild has made his way ahead of Rusty Maggots. Wish we'd have seen that pass. Buck Wild has been driving a little bit wildly. So it is a question on, was that pass clean? I hate to pull that into question, but we've seen two iffy moments in this race from him. So Rusty is going to want to try to get that position back, of course. But do it cleanly, hopefully. Pardon me. There's Venom. Still behind them, 4.3 seconds back, unfortunately. And behind Venom, that is Frogs that you see there in that yellow livery, just creeping up in the background on some of these corners. But Venom probably racing a little bit upset right now, being out of contention for 6th place, which would have been decent points. Like this, we are on roof cam with Venom, and I think I'm gonna stay here. I kind of like it. Actually, okay, just checking. We'll go here for this hood cam. This is the truth. He's made his way past Turbo. That's Turbo back there. Those lights popping on in the tunnel, and then they're gonna pop back off when they're in the sunlight. Yep. Nice little touch in the game. Gotta love it. But the truth now wants to catch up to HPR, of course. Making nice gains in the front straight here, so HPR must be saving fuel, and that makes sense. He would have fueled a little bit less than everyone else. He apexes turn 1 late, so do I. That's how I do it. The truth catching up to him easily. Again, I think HPR is, you know, hanging on to fuel there. Turbo into the wall in turn 2. Both of them tapping it on the outside, but Turbo full on wall ride again. Are we wall riding? Is that cool now? Is it because? Let me know. Let me know. Turbo looking for that line that will put HPR away. Ooh, HPR taps the wall on the outside, going into the tunnel. That should give the truth. I said Turbo. I meant the truth. That should give him a little bit of an advantage coming into the last turn, but no, he actually does not get his nose in there really. And Turbo's still with him, still behind him. See on Turbo's car, well, you could. Back then, you could have seen just how much the car leans to the outside in that corner. Now, the pass on HPR being made should be done easily here. Turbo's got the inside. Not sorry, the truth has got the inside. Here comes Turbo right behind him, but HPR are gonna shut the door on that. Turbo says, wow, really? But yeah, really. That's actually HPR's normal racing line. You see, he gets a big boost there. It gives a bump draft to the truth with that line. So, man, these three still going at it. The truth, purple sector here. So maybe going for the fastest lap this time around. Turbo still trying to put HPR away, and HPR is going to defend just a bit. I don't think he's going to defend too hard. He knows he's on the mediums, and these guys are on the softs. And really, it's just a matter of getting him in the straight, since he is fuel saving anyway. But why not make it take as long as possible? You know, hold up your opponent. That's how I'd always say. Even if you can't beat him, even if you can't beat your opponent on the racetrack, hold him up. Anything can happen. You never know. You know, it might be that hold up, that half second you held him up in lap 2 that saves you and gives you the position when they crash on lap 43. You know? Hold him up. Frogs now leads Roses by 7 seconds. So that's he's just gone on Roses. No chance for Roses to catch him now, unless Frogs has fuel issues maybe at the end of this. They're both on the racing softs, and that's a big gap to overcome. We have a little over 20 minutes of racing left, 23 minutes of racing left here. There's the truth. Made his way up into third, as we saw. Made his way past HPR, and he's eked out a 1.2 second gap. HPR still successfully holding Turbo up, who I'm sure wants to be up there getting a slipstream with his fellow racing soft driver. So Turbo can't be happy about HPR being in the way there. He's making gains on him in the straight here. Does it look like it's going to be enough to get past him by turn 1? Nope. Nope. Just enough to maybe get to his bumper, but not going to get him past. So Turbo sitting behind HPR, maybe just looking for an opportunity. Sometimes it's all you can do. Ooh, a little touch between them there, I think, or maybe it was just hitting some sparks coming off the ground there. I'm not sure. I thought I saw some sparks and a slight touch, but they seem none the worse for the wear regardless. Turbo holding a tighter line through these turns, but HPR smartly taking a wide line, wide out, and then in tight. He apexes these turns late, which makes it hard to pass him. You know, even if you've got the inside line there, he's going to swoop in and shut the door by the time you're ready to start tracking out, because he's apexing so late there. It's a great way, not only just to maintain your momentum coming out of these corners, of course. I think most of the corners around this track like a late apex to maximize your speed coming onto the following straight. Most of them have at least a short straight coming out of them, except turn 3. But the other thing is, like I said, it's a good way to defend, as long as your opponent who's on the inside there, as long as they don't get that nose too far in. Turbo got it kind of in and then had to back out of it because HPR was there putting pressure on him. If you can keep that opponent behind you from getting their nose, you know, too far up on your fender, you're gonna be able to shut that door on them as they carry a little less speed through the corner, trying to carry that tight line to the you know, with their early or middle apex. So HPR is managing to hold Turbo back despite being on racing mediums, because of the way he's taking these corners, these long sweeping turns, which, you know, is a rewarding way to take them in on this track anyway. Would have been fast whether Turbo was there with him or not. Turbo looks like he gets a big run out of the last turn there. This could be it. He's in the slipstream. He's right up under HPR's wing. Is he going to pull out for turn 1? No. Does he want to pass? Maybe he doesn't want to pass. Maybe he's like, you know what, buddy? You keep 3rd place. You keep 4th. I know you need the points. I'm going to just chill. I don't know. But HPR now has a car between himself and Roses, by the way. So Roses will pick up 4 points over HPR if the race were to finish in the order that it's in right now. That's how things would end. It would be Roses with well, let's see here, points distribution. Let's pull that up. So P1 gets 18 points, P2 will get 16, P3 will get 14, and P4 would get 12 points. So, you know, 16 versus 12, that's 4 points over what HPR would get, which would put Roses 3 points ahead of HPR in the standings for the division. As you can see, they're standing at 97 and 96 points, with HPR up with the 97. We've talked about this. I've gone over this math quite a few times. Let's get back to the race. Well, now I wonder if Turbo even wants to race it, past HPR. I don't know. I thought HPR was just brilliantly defending, but I feel like Turbo had a chance there and didn't even look like he wanted to take it. So that's interesting. Rusty's gotten back past around Buck Wild, but they're still racing together. They're not far from one another at all. Venom looks like he's about to get lapped. That is Frogs behind him. Let's try to get you an angle where you can actually see what I'm talking about. There's Frogs back there. They are both on Racing Soft, so it won't be super easy. Venom definitely has some pace in those tires in comparison to Frogs, but Frogs' gap to Roses now 6 seconds. It was 7 seconds when we checked a few laps ago. So the question is, was there a mistake, or was there maybe just a bad couple of laps? Or is Frogs realizing, I need to save some fuel? Could be any one of those things. I don't see any crazy lap times here. Actually, right on par, it seems. Well, he had a 15.1, lap 53, I lied. So everything around it's a 114, even a 114.7 2 laps ago. But he's got a 115.1, so that definitely would have lost him some time there. And meanwhile, Roses has been steadily putting down 14.7, 14.6, 14.6. So actually lapping faster than Frogs. So the mistake, and Roses is indeed lapping quicker than Frogs by a couple of tenths every lap. Here's the Truth going to lap Wooly. He will not be in this fight for first and second. He's sitting in third. He's 25 seconds back, 24 seconds back. So he's just going to want to keep this podium position. It's good points for him. He is ahead of HPR, which is, again, great points for him, actually, because he's pretty close to HPR in the championship. Like I said, he's not too far at all from Roses, who is just behind HPR by 1 point. He is looks like he's 8 points behind HPR. So finishing ahead of him in the points here, he's going to gain 2 more points than HPR gains. So that's going to bring that gap down just a little bit for him, and maybe even make a championship within the realm for him, because you really never know what can happen in these races. Last week we saw Roses have a terrible early race and eventually end up quitting when we thought Roses was going to be a contender, you know, as usual, but that's not what happened this time around. So for the Truth, really doing everything he can to finish up high in the order is what he wants to do, because he's still got a chance. So the Truth takes that pass on Wooly. This was a blue flag pass. It's not a pass for position. Now, these two did come together earlier, very early in the race. Lap 2, from what I recall. And Wooly's been in last place ever since. Still not sure what happened there. We're going to have to look at the stewarding notes. We're going to have to look at the replay later on. HPR still leading Turbo. Is Turbo back there saving fuel? I'm not going to say, but I'm looking just to check what the situation is. And he could be maybe trying to make it to the end of the race here, which isn't crazy, but you know, it's weird to me that he would let the Truth get so far away, rather than, you know, maybe using HPR for a couple of laps and then running away. It seems like he's just staying behind HPR, and I think it might be a fuel thing. Maybe he doesn't feel like he's got enough fuel to go to the end of the race, which is fair. Maybe he feels like, I can't chase the Truth, I just don't have it. But him and the Truth were running together very well. The Truth got around HPR. Turbo did not, and it's been a lot of laps since that happened. Rusty, with the fastest lap, still beats his own time. Now he's got a 1:14.094, 1:14 flat for Rusty. He was running with his teammate, the Truth, who's now up into third, by the way. So Rusty could have been in fourth, but he had an issue. I didn't see what it was, but he ended up eating a penalty, and I believe he pitted for damage when it happened too. It was back in the first stint there. Man, I will say that the mediums compared to everyone on the softs look fantastic. I mean, the mediums, not that they're hardly worn, but they've just maintained their tread a lot better. We have 13 minutes of racing left, so I wasn't expecting the softs to have a lot of meat on them, but I'm kind of surprised at the difference. Oh, I just learned a thing. Turbo is not on softs. Why did I think Turbo's on softs? Turbo's on mediums. Y'all, I have been the best commentator ever tonight. Clearly. That's why Turbo's chilling with HPR and not in a hurry to get past them, and maybe not able to get past them. They're both on the same tire. I feel like I was not seeing that. Okay, all right, things make sense. Rusty's so far behind them. He's on the softs, but he's 30 seconds back. I mean, there's just really nothing that that Rusty can do here at all. And he just had a 1:15.3, so a pretty bad lap there for him. He was doing 1:14s, like I said, a 1:14 flat as his fastest lap several laps ago. He does a 1:14 and then 7 in lap 58, and then lap 59 is a 1:15.3, so 6/10 slower, almost 6/10 slower, and now he's back to a 1:14.8 this last lap. So an issue for Rusty Maggots. Not that it really matters. It's a few tenths, and it's not going to lose him a position. He's got 9 seconds of breathing room behind him to Buck Wild. Turbo's 29 seconds ahead. He can't catch him. But here's Buck Wild running in 7th, and here's Venom right back on his bumper. So Venom is definitely going to be looking for some retribution here. Maybe not tossing Buck Wild off the track, but he definitely wants the position back, and why wouldn't he? Probably feels like it was robbed of him. Now they do have the race leader just behind them. That's Frogs. This is for a blue flag pass. They're gonna have to let Frogs through, but Venom's not gonna let him through if Buck Wild ain't gonna let him through. And so these three go together again. They're gonna let, well, Buck Wild doesn't really slow down. I'm looking at where Frogs is. He's down below, and he does get around them. Venom looking to sneak past with him on the inside of Buck Wild here. He's not able to make it happen. Takes a different line through turn 2, but it's getting a little sketchy. Frogs obviously wants to run away from these two as quickly as possible, and probably will as they battle, but Venom was really looking to try to make that advantageous to him as well, with Buck Wild trying not to let it be. We are on board with Venom as he chases Buck. 10 minutes left in the race. He has 10 minutes to make this pass and to make it stick, so he doesn't have to rush. He shouldn't do something rash, of course. You know, just kind of stick with it. Look for your chances, look for the mistakes, and get in there. There's no one coming up behind them, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Willie is 33 seconds back. This battle is just him and Buck Wild, though Roses will be appearing at some point, but Roses is about 6.5 seconds behind Frogs. So they've got breathing room. Alongside, after turn 1 now, alongside Buck Wild goes Venom. They're entering turn 2, and he is going to squeeze to the outside to make sure that Buck Wild can't get around him there. And Buck Wild stuck behind. A little tap, it looks like, but you know, I think all's fair in love and war. That earlier pass wasn't the cleanest, so I can't blame Venom for being a little HPR into the pits. He's got damage, rear splitter, rear left wheel, but like, why? I guess he has time to fix it before Rusty comes out. And a 3-second penalty though, so no, that has played terribly for HPR. It's, you know, plenty of time to get the repair done, but getting the repair done and eating a penalty is not good. Now, not only does the Truth get past them, Turbo now around him as well, and probably was already around him due to whatever happened with the damage. So HPR, it's all he can do to keep this position, is to go ahead and fix the damage, but now he's going to lose it. He's got 3 seconds of penalty, and Rusty is exactly 3 seconds behind him. He's going to lose more than 3 seconds at all. So this puts the championship a lot closer into Rose's hands, because HPR is now going to lose 3 cars between himself and Roses. If it finishes in the order that it is now, or the order it's going to be after this penalty is served, then Bite the Roses will have 6 points more than HPR. Will earn 6 points more than HPR in this race. Or is it 8 points? I'm mathing wrong. Yeah, 8 points more. That's huge. That is absolutely humongous. I don't really know what to say at HPR here, and that only helps the Truth to now, because now he's going to pick up 6 more points than HPR as well, and that brings him much closer to where he is. Again, he's only 8 points behind. No, yes, 8 points behind HPR to begin with. So gaining 6 points on him in this race puts him within 2 of HPR. Roses, however, will jump HPR by 8 points, and that's just unfortunate, of course. Ooh, the drama. I've got to get my championship standings graphics working correctly. I still can't get it to work and show the standings as they are, so I'm gonna work on that during this week, so that during the race we make sure we know what's going on. We've got the maths. The maths will math. Venom behind Buck Wild again. Now, how did that happen? Ooh, Buck Wild not looking good on fuel. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and show it. We're almost within 5 minutes of the end of the race here, but that's Buck Wild's fuel situation. This is Venom's. Does Buck Wild make it to the end of the race on that fuel? Maybe. But does Venom want this position? Does he even need it? Because I'm sure that with the stewards review, Buck Wild is going to lose it regardless, just due to the way he's been driving tonight. So, but Venom might want that position to make a point. Having track position means something, you know. I'm making a point here. And he's got more fuel than Buck Wild to do it with. Wooly never recovered from falling into last place. I believe Buck Wild might have been behind him at some point, but since that lap 2 incident, Wooly has never come back into contention in this race. Now, Frogs races alone. Those 2 cars behind them are Buck Wild and Venom, so they're not racing Frogs. They are a lap. They're a lap down from him. Roses is 6.2 seconds back from Frogs, and you know that's not gonna get overcome either. But I'm guessing he's elated with his performance here. He's gotten up to 2nd place and so far has kept it. Meanwhile, HPR, again, his closest opponent, has fallen down the order and just had incredibly bad luck this race and is now in 6th place despite starting ahead of Roses. The Truth with a great race, back up into 3rd. He was contending for 2nd place, I believe, on lap 2 or 3 of this race, much earlier on, but then had an incident, had a penalty, and that brought him down to about 5th or 6th by a lot at that. He did have to pit for damage, so you can imagine he was down by almost 30 seconds. So to make his way back up the order and into a podium and put himself into contention for this championship is fantastic for him. Very happy for him. Roses will get just ahead of him. Will eke just ahead of him as he finishes a position ahead. He's going to have 2 points more. So the Truth, Roses will gain 16 points from 96 points here. So he'll have, what's that, 112? Does that math? All right, better math. And the Truth finishing behind him with 14 points will pick up, well, he'll be sitting 6 points below him. Who do we need to pay attention to? Oh, right, Venom and Buck Wild. Oh, well, there's Buck Wild back there. And here's Venom. Buck Wild says, I'm going to run out of gas. That's why he's let Venom go ahead. And that makes sense to me. What a race, y'all. Well, at least what a race start. At least the rest of the race was mostly uneventful. You know, a couple crashes here and there, a couple of penalties here and there. I think HPR probably the biggest story as far as drama goes. I don't know what happened when he was running with Turbo to pick up that damage and that 1.5 second penalty there, but whatever it was, it definitely hurt him. Now, these aren't finalized positions, of course. We've seen some violations. We've seen some hits. There may be changes in position even at the top of the order here. So definitely make sure that you check out gtchampions.com by Wednesday, I believe, or Thursday is when you can see all of the race results, the finalized race results after the stewards make decisions on reported incidents. Now, a minute and a half of racing left, and I'm not gonna lie, some of these fuel tanks are looking a little low. Buckwild is out. Wooly probably will make it. Frogs is just fine. Roses is fully fine. The Truth probably be alright. Turbo maybe as well. Yeah, it really just looks like Venom and Buckwild are in the most danger. Well, we already know Buckwild is done. He's run out of fuel. Venom can now safely run out of fuel as he is 11, almost 12 seconds ahead of Buckwild. So Buckwild won't catch him if Venom runs out of fuel here. He will see another lap if he doesn't run out here. I don't think he will. So he'll cross the line before the hour 30 mark. Let's get with our race leader, Frogs, who has led the race since the start. Since that drama at the very beginning, lap 2, Frogs has been in first place and has not lost it. He had a brilliant pit stop where he jumped up ahead of Bite the Roses by several seconds. Before that whole first stint after the second lap went down, once Roses caught up to Frogs, he was right up on Frogs' bumper the entire time, showing I have the same pace as you, might even be faster, but I'm trying to save fuel here. What ended up happening was that Roses didn't end up saving any more fuel than Frogs, so he already had a disadvantage there. Frogs took advantage of that by short fueling on top of that, and that gave him a huge jump out of the pits, and Roses never caught back up to him. So Frogs taking the final corners here, well, I guess technically the middle corners. Turns 3 and 4 are both the middle corners and some of the final corners, if we're honest. Now he's coming into the last corner after this kink here, and he will take that checkered flag as the winner of this race. He's in 6th place in the championship, so it's not really going to put him any closer to winning this thing. But a win is a win is a win. He takes the checkered flag first. Bite the Roses will take it in 2nd place. Well done by him. Flashing the lights to say hello. The Truth has already taken it. Didn't finish. He didn't cross the line before the hour 30-minute mark. So congratulations to the Truth on a podium position as well. You got to give it to all of these gentlemen. They did fantastically. They did absolutely wonderfully. Great race for those 3. All right, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get these guys into an interview, and I unfortunately don't have a podium graphic to put up for you guys to look at that's really nice and pretty, so I do apologize. I will put up this awesome thumbnail, Pixteca of Hypre. Of course, that's all our graphics, and they look great like this. So look at this, because this is pretty. And I'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am back with our podium um, winners here. We've got roses in the room. We got frogs in the room. We got the truth. That's not in any particular order, but they're here in the room. We'll start with the truth. This is your third podium?
Uh, might be my fourth. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay, got it. Well, good either way. Fantastic race from you. I mean, you recovered very well from that earlier mistake that put you into the pits and gave you a penalty. What happened? I think it was lap two, turn one between you and Wooly. I could not tell what happened there, but obviously it was devastating to a lot of people's races. What went down?
I can't remember exactly, but it happened so fast. But there was a few things that happened. Um, the first thing that happened is Wooly and Rusty had some sort of incident, and then I came flying through between the two, just trying to survive because I had to run on them. And then we kept going, and it was just like you're in shock trying to fix stuff, and there was cars everywhere. And to be honest, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I got damage and a penalty. So then quickly, had a lap to see like what my times were going to be like, and then I figured out that okay, this is going to be a time sucker. So then I just went in and fixed the damage, and then prayed to God that I could find another car to slipstream with, which I found several dance partners throughout the race.
You did, and you made your way back up into third place after falling so far behind, including having to take a pit. I mean, it was very impressive. So
Yeah, like
congratulations, and it.
we
Go ahead.
I was gonna say like we Rusty and I practiced a lot, and we really had great pace. Like as you can see, I think Rusty had the fastest lap.
He
But
did, and I saw y'all running together for a long time. Yep.
yeah, but then all that stuff happened. So I'm very happy actually with the result because I was very surprised I caught HP. I don't know what happened to HP. I'm assuming something bad must have happened because I caught him, and I was surprised that I was able to make it all the way back. But anyways, I'm not going to talk too much because I didn't win, and I think it might be Frogs' first win. I'm not sure, so I want to hear how he feels about that.
That's okay. We'll get to frogs. No worries. I mean, this is a big deal for you too because you have given yourself a real chance at the championship here, especially with HPR finishing as far behind as he did. Now, I don't know. Obviously, these are provisional standings, right? So, no guarantee that these positions stay the same that they do, but you'll gain 14 points for being in third place, which gives you 103 points. Yes. Rose is sitting at 96 points, and he's going to get 16. That puts him in 112. So you're going to be within 9 points of Apex Roses for this next race. Um, Actually, where does HPR end up? I don't remember where he finished, but I think HPR is like also just a couple of points away from you at the end of this because he finished so far ahead. So put your head down for Fuji, man. It's showtime.
Yeah, well, as we saw, anything could happen, right? So I'll just
Anything.
prepare as usual, and if I get lucky, uh, then we'll see, and I'll just do the best I can, right? But you're going to need some luck.
You are. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
Roses! Like, you got pretty lucky there. You came from the back to being in contention for first place by lap six because of all the crap that happened in between you. You didn't. I feel like you didn't have to work for it. All you had to do was tiptoe past the carnage.
Yeah, I just was taking it easy, and then seeing the incident up ahead, and I just thought, I hope I don't get caught up in this,
Right.
and I somehow made it through cleanly, and then I just worked with frogs just to get away from HPR because I know these final two rounds are going to be crucial for myself to get the maximum points I need to win.
Yes. I wish I knew what happened to HPR. He was running with you guys in third, not too bad, and then ended up eating a penalty and took some damage. But I didn't actually see what happened. But he ended up with, I think, a second and a half and rear splitter and rear wheel damage, if I'm not mistaken, and had to pit, and that's what took him away from you two. And then towards the second stint, it just got worse for him. You know, he was already on the mediums. He started on the soft, so he's already on the slower tire, and then just fell further down the order while you maintained your spot in second place there. So again, that puts you ahead of him in the championship by several points at this point. And you just gotta get ahead of him in Fuji. That's it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one because Fuji can destroy anyone's race at such a high demanding on concentration. During the last sector, as it's just so tight, you can just lose the car real easy if you just drop a wheel off.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Everyone be on their P's and Q's for Fuji for sure, because you just don't know what'll happen. In fact, I was just thinking, I said you have to stay ahead of HPR, but you really don't. You just can't let him get too far ahead of you to clinch the championship here. And, of course, keep an eye on the truth, because he's coming. Okay?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting starting from the back. Got to try and get up quick and run away.
You got this. I believe in you. Frogs.
Hello.
Hey, congratulations,
Hey.
man. You won.
Yeah, I did. Thank you. It was both a fun and boring race at the same time. Because obviously not a lot of corners, not a lot of turns, but the beginning, yeah, that beginning stint, I guess I was in the right place at the right time and avoided all those collisions that happened up front. And then once I came up, Roses and I just kind of played it side by side and helped each other out, and that's kind of how the whole race went.
I love that. It went great, obviously, for you guys. I was just looking. I think this is your first win. Yes?
Yeah, first win. Super happy about it. Second podium, first win. I like the season, the way it's progressing, especially towards the end. I've learned a lot from these guys racing. My first time competing in sim racing, so having these guys to follow after and learn the tricks and trades, I've obviously improved as the season went on, and consistency is key here. So happy with the result.
Love it. I can't wait to see you next season. I hope you do come back for season 5 because, yeah, you've definitely learned a lot. You've definitely improved a lot. And now you have a top spot to show for it before the end of the season here. You can't really beat that.
Absolutely. Yeah, top 5 is good in my book. And next season I'll be coming for the number 1 spot.
I believe in you. Next season, number 1 spot. I wonder how many. I guess we'll still have 4 divisions, or maybe we'll have even more drivers. We keep ending up adding a division. So if we do, there might be some shuffling around there, or if you get much quicker during the off season, you might find yourself in Div 1.
I'm definitely not an alien.
Fair enough.
He should change his name to Fake B Driver.
Fake B Driver. Yeah, you're not a B driver anymore, bruh.
No.
Get some daily races.
I gotta get back.
Go ahead and get that A up.
Yeah, I gotta go back into dailies. I've been practicing too much for this.
Nice. I've been neglecting dailies for months too. It's time. Well, guys, I appreciate you, of course, as usual, for the interview. We'll see you all next week. It's the last race, and everyone here has something to race for. So good luck to you.
Thanks for doing it, Tati.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night, y'all.
See you guys.
Good night.
As for you people, everyone else, don't forget, we got one last race. It's next week, next Saturday night, same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. For some reason, my global clock tile disappeared. My global times tile, I don't know where that is, so I don't have that for you. But 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, find out what time that is in your time, or just check back on the YouTube channel here. We'll usually put the date and starting details so you know exactly what time that final race is starting. We will have a 3-way battle for the championship, most likely on this last race. You don't want to miss it at all. This is Tatiana. I'm out. I want to make sure I don't have anything else I want to talk to y'all about. Oh, yeah, make sure you go to our website, gtchampions.com. But of course, go to specifically this page, gtchamps.com/digit-20K. Obviously, I mean champions, not champs. Don't type that and then tell me I sent you to the wrong place. But that is for the Digit Gaming 20,000 subscriber event. They're celebrating hitting 20,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. And they are, of course, one of our partners. Digit Gaming helps people get faster at sim racing. Check them out. Go sign up for this tournament if you're interested in racing. It's 4 rounds. There are some pre-qualifying rounds to be done, so go to the website to check out all the details on that. And with that, for real, this time I'm leaving y'all. Have a good night.